All right, so boom. Tomorrow, Iron Mike Tyson returns back to the ring. And oh, I'm excited to see him take on Tyson Fury. What? No? Okay. He's fighting against Usyk. No? Oh, man. Maybe it's Anthony Joshua. No? Okay. He's fighting Jake Paul. He's fighting Jake Paul. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not excited about it. I'm not going to sit over here and be hypocritical and say, well, I'm not watching. I may not watch live, but I'll definitely tune into the fight in the morning on Saturday before I find out anything regarding spoilers. And I'm just going to keep it real with you, right? This got to stop. Jake Paul keep fighting all these doggone senior citizens, people who are way past their prime. I will give him credit, though. Beat the shit out of Mike Perry, and Mike Perry was still in his prime. Won 5 consecutive fights over in BKFC, and furthermore, he was their fighter of the year, if I'm not mistaken. But there was a weight difference. Mike Perry never been that heavy in his entire life. I got to give credit where credit is due. Jake Paul took care of business. Furthermore, granted, he lost Tommy Fury, all right? He beat Tyron Woodley. He was a wrestler. Doesn't matter, right? You beat fighters. They may not have been boxers. I'll give Jake Paul his credit. However, let's call it what it is, man. This ain't nothing more than a super cash grab for the both of them. I mean, really, Tyson had taken to the media and said, well, his children never really understood nor knew who he was. He's a nobody to his kids, but maybe he'll be a somebody after this Friday. Hell of a quote. Mike Tyson has always had quotables. But if you really look at it, well, his children never had a real chance to see him in his prime. His eldest child, his daughter, I believe, was born in 1990, so that put her, 34? And by the time that Tyson was really Tyson, that ended, about 98? Really? He had a few more wins after that, but you didn't necessarily, at 9 years old, at the maximum, have an understanding of who your father was and why everybody was so hype to tune into the fights. It's not like a Yaya Mayweather kind of situation to where you were in your teenage years when your father was at the peak of boxing and everything of that nature, or maybe even a Deontay Wilder with his daughter having an opportunity to see him while he was still champion, and I believe she was entering her teenage years. Somebody can fact check that. But one way or another, in this realm of Mike Tyson having this fight, I'm not very excited for it, right? And really, I can give credit where credit is due regarding Jake. As I stated prior, him being able to get that many butts in the seats, because although I don't want to compare the two fighting style or their abilities in the ring, but you have to take into account how polarizing Jake Paul just so happens to be. He has the Mayweather effect of where people will pay money just to see you lose. They're not interested in seeing if Jake Paul can win. They're interested in seeing Jake Paul lose. And furthermore, they're disappointed when he wins. There's a very small percentage of people who really are like, we're Jake Paulers. We want to see him succeed in all things in the ring. Most people want to see him lose, right? And if you take into account the highest paid fighters over the course of the past 3 years, Jake Paul's in that group. May not be the way that, the traditional, conventional path there, but you gotta give credit where credit is due, because you're able to leverage your clout, your following, and that puts you in a position to where you can essentially skip the line and furthermore create your own fights. Granted, when he did mention in the beginning of this entire journey for him, he would like to be world champion one day. That's all well and good. I don't think this is the route to go and get it. However, if you continue to generate this many views into all of your pay-per-views, guess what? That champion, despite the fact that they will be way more qualified contenders from a fighting perspective, you have an opportunity to have a payday of a lifetime. Why would you not take the Jake Paul fight? So it makes sense. But overall, Mike Tyson is coming off of a ulcer this past summer. He's 58 years old. He's years past his prime. And granted, we all see the training videos. Looks magnificent. You put anybody inside of that ring, maybe not so much anybody, but you put the casual human beings up inside that ring, maybe even lower level fighters, they may mess around and have some issues, but he's 58. Those intangibles may still mess around and be there. Quick twitch, punches, the muscles may still be there. He looked like he still got that snap, still has that killer uppercut, hook, all those other stuff, but he's 58. And furthermore, this is just my opinion on Jake Paul's situation here. You're in a lose-lose spot. Now, granted, he doesn't care about the opinions of the outside folks outside of his camp. So, albeit, one way or another, he's going to be leaving this, fight with a smile on his face. He met Mike Tyson for the very first time in, 99, 25 years later. Here you are in the ring with him. That is not only a dream come true, but my God, is that absolutely crazy. But you're in a lose-lose situation because you beat Mike Tyson. Well, he's 58. He's had this being his second fight in 19 years. Or if you lose, well, it's Mike Tyson. He's supposed to knock you out. That's just what he does. Me personally, I can give Jake props for stepping into the ring. Better man than me. I wouldn't step into the ring with Mike Tyson. But it's one of them situations where it's like you want to be excited because the name on the ticket is Mike Tyson, but it's not Mike from years ago. But I will say this much. If you mess around and look like the monster that we knew he was in the 80s and the 90s, 30 years ago, 40 years, well, maybe not so much 40 because it started in 85, whatever the case just so happens to be. If he could look like that, oh, that'd be great. But we know it's gonna be a one-off. You're not gonna see Tyson now become a consistent fighter. It's one of them situations. It's almost like the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Now, granted, that's sports entertainment. This is legitimate fighting, but that's neither here nor there. I can't seem to bring myself to be incredibly excited about it. And furthermore, I've talked to a number of you guys who are viewing this right now who have messaged me and said, yo, I'm not really excited for this fight, and I feel the same way. Like, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say I'm not going to tune in. I'm going to watch after, may not watch live. But it's just one of them situations where it's like, damn, I wish the circumstances could have been different. And I would hope in the future for Jake, you can fight, maybe the ranked boxers, if you will. But of course, he's in a situation where you generate so much money, you can call your own shots, create your own narrative, and move to the beat of your own drum. So I understand it, but I don't know. But overall, I think Jake wins this fight. That's just roundabout way to give you my prediction. Just wanted to get into everything that was over there, but still, I think Jake Paul wins this fight. And if Mike doesn't knock him out in the first round, I'll give him a second round. I don't think he's going to be able to survive and remain winded, or I should say without getting gassed and winded. But if this goes past a round, Jake Paul is winning. If it goes the distance, Jake Paul is winning. Mike Tyson has to win by knockout in the first round because there will be no way that he won't be able to remain with a high level of stamina as the fight goes. But the one caveat for Jake Paul just so happens to be, well, when have we seen this man go the distance in a fight where he hadn't gotten gassed about like the fourth round? So it all depends on how they go out there and fight. But overall, I love Mike. Did a whole documentary kind of 5-part series on Mike. I just don't see it happening. 58, brother. Put the gloves up. You put it up before, put the doggone gloves up, man. I want to be excited. I really want to be excited, but I can't bring myself to do it. I just can't bring myself to do it. But I'm going to tune in, though. Y'all let me know in the comment section who you think coming out on top. Again, Jake Paul wins this fight, whether it be going the distance, whether I would really hope it's not a knockout because you don't want to see Mike go out like that. But Jake Paul getting a W, man.
Come here and tell me that if I fuck you in your ass.
Hey, yo, what the fuck? Hey, I appreciate you watching the entire video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button on the way out if you haven't already. And on top of that, hit that notification bell as well. For whatever reason, YouTube's only showing my videos to 20% of my subscribers. So if you have already turned on the notification bell, turn it off, turn it back on. If you never turn it on, turn it on. I appreciate you.